All right, today we're going deep, literally. We are deconstructing one of the most mysterious, most extreme life forms on our planet, the sperm whale. This is a journey into the mind of a giant that lives in a world we can barely imagine. I want you to picture a place where sunlight is just a distant memory. We're talking 3,000 meters straight down. This isn't just water, it's an alien world. A pressure chamber operating in total, absolute blackness. And right now, something is hunting down here. I mean, the conditions here, they're just about unlivable. The pressure is immense, enough to crush steel, enough to implode a submarine. The cold is lethal. And yet, for the sperm whale, this isn't some quick vacation spot. This is home. They spend over 70% of their entire lives right here in the abyss. Now, to operate in a place like this hunter has to be a master of its own biology. Up at the surface, its heart is beating about 60 times a minute. But down here, in the crushing dark, it slows way down to a mere 10 beats per minute. It basically puts itself into a controlled state of near shutdown for every single dive. So who is this hunter? Well, of course, it's the sperm whale, the undisputed master of a vertical universe that stretches for miles. You know, for an animal the size of a school bus, they're practically invisible to us, living in a world we simply can't enter. They're the closest thing our planet has to a real sea monster, not because they're terrifying, but because they are so profoundly, deeply unknown. So the big question is, how on earth is any of this possible? Let's take a look at the incredible biological engineering that allows this creature to completely conquer the abyss. You know, it really all starts with that head. That massive, square, 9-meter-long head isn't just for looks. It is one of the most sophisticated pieces of biological technology on Earth. It is, for all intents and purposes, a living sonar cannon. So tucked inside that head is something called the spermaceti organ. It's filled with up to a ton of this unique waxy oil. Now, sound starts deep inside the whale's nasal passages, and it travels through this oil, which acts like an acoustic lens, focusing the sound and firing it forward in a concentrated, powerful beam. And get this, the power of that beam is just staggering. The clicks can register at 230 decibels. To put that in perspective, a jet engine at takeoff is about 140 decibels. This is so powerful that divers have actually reported feeling these clicks physically punch through their chests. It's how they built a perfect 3D map of a world that lives in total darkness. But to survive this, the whale's entire body has to re-engineer itself for every dive. First, its lungs literally collapse on purpose. This prevents nitrogen from getting into the blood, which is what causes the bends in human divers. Then, its rib cage, which is super flexible, just bends inward under the pressure instead of snapping. Blood flow gets redirected only to the brain and the other really critical organs. And the craziest part? Their muscles are packed with a protein that stores oxygen directly, basically turning their entire body into a backup scuba tank. I mean, when you put us side by side with a sperm whale, it's not even a contest, right? Every single thing that would kill a human in minutes, the pressure, the bends, the lack of oxygen, the sperm whale has solved it with this elegant biological brilliance, and that's what allows them to dive for over 90 minutes at a time. But, you know, our relationship with this incredible animal hasn't always been one of scientific curiosity. For centuries, it was a story of fear, of greed, and of really violent conflict. It started way back in the 1700s, when sailors called them sea devils. By the mid-1800s, that clear, smokeless oil from their heads, spermaceti, was basically liquid gold. It lit our cities and lubricated the machines of the Industrial Revolution, and that sparked one of the most destructive hunts in human history, one that only ended with the global whaling moratorium in 1986. And this wasn't just some sailor's tall tale. This really happened. In 1820, a massive sperm whale deliberately attacked and sank the whaling ship Essex. This terrifying real-life account of a vengeful whale, it became the direct inspiration for Herman Melville's Moby Dick. The fear was absolutely real. And you can see pretty clearly why this was a war the whales just could not win. A female sperm whale has a single calf only once every 5 to 7 years. You just can't sustain a population that reproduces that slowly when you're killing thousands of them every single year. The scale of the destruction is just, it's hard to wrap your head around. Some estimates suggest that over 1 million sperm whales were killed. 1 million. We nearly erased them from the planet before we ever really began to understand them. But here's the thing. To survive the abyss, and to survive us, you need more than just a tough body. You need a brilliant mind. And that brings us to the mind of the giant, an intelligence that's truly ancient. Okay, just look at this. We're talking about the largest brain that has ever existed on Earth. It weighs around 8,000 grams. That's nearly 6 times the size of our own. And what's more, it has the same kinds of complex neural structures linked to compassion, love, and language in us humans, structures they've had for 15 million years. So, how do they talk to each other? Well, they use these rhythmic patterns of clicks called codas. They sound a little bit like Morse code. What's absolutely incredible is that these codas aren't genetic. They're not instinctual. A baby whale has to actually learn its family's specific codas by listening and mimicking. This is the very foundation of culture. And the evidence that this is a real language, well, it's just piling up. Different clans have different dialects, just like humans. Pods develop their own signature calls. Some scientists even believe these codas have syntax, like grammatical rules for forming sentences. They aren't just communicating, they may very well be speaking. And maybe this is the most profound piece of evidence of all. Despite centuries of us hunting them, when divers enter their world today, completely defenseless and vulnerable, the whale's response isn't fear or aggression. It's curiosity. They turn, they scan you with their sonar, they observe. They seem to be trying to understand us. So, as if all of that wasn't enough, it turns out these whales aren't just living in the ocean. They are actively engineering the entire marine ecosystem. They are architects of a blue planet. There's this amazing process called the whale pump, and here's how it works. They dive thousands of meters deep to feed on things like giant squid. Then, they have to come back to the surface to breathe, and also to, well, poop. Their waste is super rich in nutrients, like iron, which fertilizes the plankton at the surface. That plankton is the base of the entire ocean food chain, produces half the oxygen we breathe, and captures massive amounts of carbon from the atmosphere. They are a living, breathing climate solution. And get this, even in death, these animals create life on a monumental scale. When a whale's body sinks to the seafloor, it's called a whale fall. It becomes this sudden city of nutrients and the endless dark, creating an entire bustling ecosystem that can sustain thousands of other creatures for up to a century. A single whale fall is a generational gift to the abyss. And that really brings us to the heart of it all, doesn't it? For centuries, we looked at this animal and saw a monster, or maybe just a resource to be harvested. Now we see a biological marvel, a cultural being with a complex language and a crucial engineer of our planet. It just makes you wonder, if we missed all of that in a creature this colossal, what else are we still completely failing to see?